Okay, guys, so let's start, right? I don't know if anybody else is going to join. So let me remind you that Falco is a CNCF project and it's subject to the CNCF Code of Conduct. So please be kind to one another. I don't see any new faces, but if there's somebody in there that is new to the call and wants to introduce yourself, you're welcome to do it. Okay, so nobody. First topic in the agenda today is support for EKS in AWS. I don't know who included this in the agenda, but please, can you provide more feedback to this? Thomas, you know something about it? Oh yeah, sorry.
I can discuss. I can tell something about, but it's not my own item.
I don't know who asked. Anyway, I have never tried it on Fargate, but if I remember correctly, it could be possible using PDIC. I'm not sure about that because I never tried.
The problem with Fargate is that you cannot really access the host, right?
Exactly. So it you can overcome that by using user space instrumentation on a single process instead of instrumenting the whole kernel. And by the way, PDIG and also Kilt, that is another project under the Falco Security Organization that, as far as I know, is used just to instrument PDIG to work with Fargate or other thing, are two experimental projects under the Falco Security Organization that, to be honest, I never tried, so I cannot say more than that.
Thank you, Leo. Can you include a link? I don't remember where is the project that you are talking about for user space implementation.
I will add the link of both.
Thank you very much. Okay, there are no more topics for today agenda. I would like to bring up an old topic that old pull request that I opened some weeks ago about the reorganization of the training content in the portal. I'm going to include it in here. Thank you, Leo, for including the link in there. The thing is that we just need an approval to make those changes. I don't really want to give a lot of context again about Katakoda, but they are removing the service because the company was acquired by O'Reilly. So we want to change a little bit how the content is presented and make possible for people to include in their more community training. So the pull request is open in there, and I don't know if anybody here can just review and approve if you're fine with changes.
Yeah, I was almost there to approve the pull request. Only my concern, if I remember correctly, was that the Falco course on Katakoda is not currently working. Is it and is not working? I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that's something you are completely right, Leo. That's my fault because I linked a page. I thought that it was going to be better to have a link to a CNCF section in Katakoda where there are more courses included about other tools, but we also have the possibility to link to an only Falco web page where the 3 labs that we currently have embedded in the web page are going to be available. And Katakoda never said that we don't really know what they're going to do with the platform, but we expect them to be there for longer time than the embedded ones. So changing that link that you are talking about should fix that. I can update the pull request. Okay, thank you, Leo. Yeah.
Thank you.
We have a new item in here, Falco plugin for Seccomp agent. Who is including this? Can you provide more context, please? Hi, Alban. We cannot hear you. If you can unmute. Not yet.
We can't hear you.
They are not on mute, but we still cannot hear you.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry. So we wrote a component called Seccomp agent that receives Seccomp notifications and a plugin to send the events to Falco. And I mentioned it a couple of meetings ago, and now it's the code is working. So I just wanted to mention it. And thanks for the blog post. It was helpful to take example and understand how to write plugins before.
Thank you. That was the purpose. So thank you a lot.
By the way, the request is okay for me. I want also to ask Jason, that is another maintainer of that repo. It's okay for you? Okay,
yeah, definitely.
I'm going to approve it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We still have to discuss all together about how to distribute plugins, especially for plugins from external contributors of Falco. Currently, the plugins you can find out in the main repository of plugins are automatically built and downloadable from downloads.falco.org. So JSON, CloudTrail, etc. But for external contributions like Seccomp, we have to find out a way to propose something for people to share their plugins, especially because we have some issues with different architectures. For example, we have someone this morning from me, today, who tried to run a plugin built for x64, but he was trying to run the plugin on ARM, Raspberry Pi. So we have to find out a way to propose ARM architectures for plugins in main repository in plugins, and also a way for people to share not only the source code but the binary at least.
Yeah. By the way, if I can add a bit more context about that, basically there are two groups of plugin. I would say one group are hosted by Falco Security, and those plugin lives inside our repository that's called the Falco Security /plugins. All plugins included there will be automatically built by our infrastructure, and some of them will be packaged with Falco. For example, currently the only two that are packaged are the CloudTrail one and the JSON one that is an extractor plugin. We already planned to refactor the current Kubernetes audit implementation to a plugin, and when that implementation will be ready, of course, it will be bundled with Falco and packaged with Falco. That being said, we for sure we have to try to find a way to make more consumable those plugins that are hosted by third party and at the same time are built by third party, because right now the only way is you can open your own repository on your on your GitHub account. You can host the source code there and ask to register your plugin in our registry. That's basically an index, not a YAML file, not more. But then you have to build your plugin for all architecture. By the way, you have to take care about building it on the correct glibc version. Otherwise, it will not be compatible with all the release of the Falco version and other thing. So for sure, the first thing I believe that we have to do is to document it very well, so people can do that by themselves. And also remember that there was a proposal to create a template repository, so people can just start from scratch and have everything ready. For example, we could provide GitHub action to do that in a quick way, or things like that. And other than that, I also have some thoughts how to make those plugins consumable, or I would say installable by Falco user. I am thinking something like Helm charts, because I don't know if you know, but Helm charts have a repository with an index, and there is a client that fetch the index, allow you to install the chart locally. So I would really like to create something similar. I already discussed that with Andrea some days ago, and yes, perhaps is something that we will propose when we have the time, of course, because there are a lot of things in the pipeline.
Yes, and maybe one possible point of attention here, maybe it's a bit off topic, but once a proper, as Leonardo said, a more user-friendly way to install the plugins is set up, possibly the same platform could be used also to, say, install Falco rules, to distribute Falco rules, to have the user get Falco rules, and to have them distributed as an artifact.
Yeah, and this could be a good occasion, a good chance to revamp our tool Falco CTL, that basically is dead. No one is updating it since 2 years, I believe. So maybe this year will be the right one. That's it.
My 2 cents about that. I totally agree. We need some repository, hub, whatever, for rules, plugins, and maybe other fun stuff like functions for response engines in future. But I would like more Kubernetes operator than a command line tool for that. I know most people are deploying Falco and Psychic, etc., with Helm in their Kubernetes cluster. So an operator with a global pattern and CRD for rules, for functions, for plugins will be more convenient than a CLI tool, because the CLI tool is not always really relevant in a continuous deployment.
Yeah. I agree with that, although I believe we need both, because there are people that install Falco directly on the host. So maybe we can create, because I guess the operator will be written in Golang. Maybe we can create just a shared library to do the same thing, both using an operator or a command line.
We should do both. This is just a question of priority.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
For example, for people who want to install Falco directly on host, we could work on Ansible Playbook or Terraform module, for example.
Yeah, okay.
Right, to say.
And last thing that came to my mind is also that there is another CNC project called Artifact Hub. Maybe we also want to be compatible with their format and let them crawl our published rules or our published plugins.
I have a lot of questions about rules, because
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Matt Farina is the lead of that Artifact Hub. Maybe we just tag him in the channel and see if that's something to move forward with. I know he pinged us about 6 or 8 months ago, because I think we were because we were getting rid of the, somebody had suggested get rid of the security hub or whatever that we were maintaining, so.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Leo, sorry.
No, I was just saying that maybe it's too early to ping him, because maybe we want to design this thing a bit, but for sure I believe at some point we have to be compatible with the Artifact Hub and also ping him. Just my 2 cents about that.
I think we are facing a dependency nightmare with rules, because for macros or lists, how to deal with dependencies. This is something I had in mind for months now. I still haven't figured out how to solve that. But this is just an idea, a thought.
Thank you, everybody. A lot of ideas here. I have tried to register everything in the Markdown. If you want to modify anything or something is missing, please include it in there. And any action that can be extracted from here, please include it in there too. I don't know
Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you, guys. I don't know if anybody else wants to add something to this discussion. It's fine. If not, there are no more items in the agenda today. So I guess this question is not new. Anybody wants to be the next MC for next weekly call? Who hasn't? Oh,
No,
Federico.
I don't want, because I can't, but I wanted just to say thank you to Mauro, because he upgraded the gRPC on Libs.
Yeah.
No problem. Thank you guys for all of the work that you've been doing, and the feedback was really great.
You're welcome.
So I can be the next call MC if you agree.
Yeah, thank you, Federico. Well, thank you everybody for the contributions today and the great discussion. So see you all in the next weekly call. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.